Draft, the Carolina Panthers have selected Christian McCaffrey, running back.
Thomas, don't worry about it. He's actually both. You take a look at McCaffrey's family. His grandfather, David, won a silver medal and was one time the world's fastest man. His mother, Lisa, was a soccer player. His father, Ed, is a wide receiver at Stanford where Lisa played soccer. His brothers are great athletes as well. Max is a member of the Packers practice squad. Dylan, an incoming freshman quarterback in Michigan. And Luke is a quarterback at Valor High School. Christian was a standout running back at Stanford for 3 seasons, where he set the FBS single season record for all-purpose yards. This kid can do it all. And remember what he did to get into this position. When he had his pro day at Stanford, he didn't take a single drill at running back. He knew that people saw he was a good running back. They also did the pro day simply just for what his wide receiver skills would be. But Mel, we've had 2 running backs go in the first 8 picks. This must be upsetting to you. Listen.
And I think pretty quickly we're going to be talking running back. Who made that rule anyway? You can't pick one in the first round. Who made that rule?
I did. You wouldn't have taken Emmitt Smith or Tony Dorsett or Jim Brown.
No.
I mean, I'm tired of talking to you about this running back thing. I mean, you change your coat, you're like a chameleon.
Hey, that is not true, Gruden, because let me tell you one thing here. You got 2 backs, right? Do you take Elliott thinking he's better for our offensive line system and our blocking scheme than the other 2 we have, or do you go away from it? I said last year, if I got a head coach and a coordinator banging on a table and the grade is where it needs to be, in Elliott's case, it's 8 on the board. That's high enough. If it was 18, I'd say no way. So if you want him, you wanted Gurley, I'd say, hey, Gurley's grade was high enough. Go ahead and take him. I personally, if I were a GM, my philosophy is never, whether it's Adrian Peterson or your Cadillac Williams, I would never take a running back in round 1.
Never? Not after what we saw from Zeke.
McCaffrey, first of all, is not a running back. He's a slot receiver. He's a wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner. Look about 2015, he completed 2 or 3 passes, both resulted in touchdowns. High school, he was a running back, wide receiver, defensive back, punter, and track star. He is much more than a running back. This is a multi-dimensional dynamo. Adam Schefter calling him a tore-down player. Look at him here. 5'11 and a quarter, 202 pounds, around a 4'4'8", 37.5 vertical. What an athlete he is. What an athletic family he comes from. So I think when you look at McCaffrey, he's an X-factor player. He is not a running back. I've said all along, if the grade's in line, McCaffrey's is, then you take him if the coach is pounding the table for him. What does Cam Newton need coming off the injury? He needs weapons. He needs targets. McCaffrey is a route runner. He's a skilled player, and he's all about football, John. I said last year Elliott's grade was in range. You take him if the coach won him. I said the same thing about Gurley. I'll say the same about McCaffrey and Fournette. The coach is pounding the table, and their grade's in line. I have no issue with it, John Gruden.
Let me tell you something, Kuiper. This is a running back that can do anything you want to do. Just enjoy the film of McCaffrey because he's going to be an outstanding Carolina Panther. But when you watch him, he's trained extremely well. He's running routes that they run in the NFL. This is a halfback choice. Nobody runs it better than Darren Sproles of the Philadelphia Eagles. He mismatches linebackers. It's embarrassing. That's the same thing that McCaffrey is doing as a running back, Mel. He's coming out of the backfield, and he's shredding linebackers on the exact same routes. He's been well trained. If you want to detach him from the formation, he can run routes as good as most slot receivers. That's a lookie that you can't run any better. And he has the speed and the power to finish it. And they lost Ted Ginn, their dynamic returner. He signed with the Saints. Guess what? They get one of the premier returners in the history of college football. Punts and kicks. Christian McCaffrey, running back /